What if the world's biggest oil producers suddenly had a new, powerful sibling, one that could change the entire energy game? Stick around, because today we're digging into the surprising rise of nuclear energy in the Middle East and how this new development could seriously impact your investments, no matter where you live. Let's get right into it. For decades, when people thought about energy in the Middle East, one word came to mind: oil. The region's oil giants, think Saudi Aramco, Kuwait Petroleum, and the UAE's ADNOC, have basically set the global pace for production and pricing. Oil has been the lifeblood of these economies, and the world's thirst for crude has kept their coffers full. But here's the twist. A new player is stepping onto the stage, and it's not another oil company. It's nuclear energy. That's right. In a region defined by oil wells and gas fields, nuclear power is quickly becoming a big brother in the energy family. And it's not just a side project. We're talking billions of dollars in investment, national pride, and a clear signal that the Middle East is diversifying in a big way. So, why is this happening now? Let's unpack it. First, global pressure to cut carbon emissions is forcing even the most oil-dependent nations to rethink their energy mix. The Paris Agreement, climate change targets, and rising investor scrutiny are making fossil fuels a tougher sell. Countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia know they can't rely on oil forever, not just because of climate change, but also because the market is shifting. Renewable energy is growing, and the world's biggest investors are demanding cleaner, more sustainable solutions. Enter nuclear energy. Unlike solar or wind, nuclear provides constant, reliable power. Rain or shine, day or night. It doesn't spew carbon into the atmosphere. And for Middle Eastern countries with rapidly growing populations and soaring electricity demand, that's a game changer. The UAE's Barakah nuclear plant is already up and running, making the UAE the first Arab nation to produce nuclear power. Saudi Arabia is following suit with ambitious nuclear plans of its own, and countries like Egypt and Jordan are lining up as well. Now, let's talk money. These nuclear projects aren't cheap. The Barakah plant alone cost nearly $25 billion, but the payoff could be huge. Reliable, clean energy can help these nations power massive infrastructure projects, desalinate water for their populations, and even export electricity to neighbors. Plus, nuclear power means less domestic oil burned for electricity, which frees up more oil for export. That's a smart move if you want to keep those export revenues high while meeting local needs. So how does this affect your portfolio, even if you don't own shares in an oil company or a nuclear plant? And here's the kicker. The ripple effects are global. At first, as Middle Eastern countries burn less of their own oil at home, they can put more barrels on the world market. That could keep oil prices lower, or at least more stable. Good news for businesses and consumers, but tough on oil producers elsewhere. Second, this nuclear push signals a broader shift toward energy diversification. If the region that's been synonymous with oil for a century is betting big on nuclear, it sends a message. The global energy landscape is changing and fast. Investors are starting to notice. Clean energy ETFs, uranium mining stocks, and even companies that make nuclear reactor parts are suddenly back in the spotlight. The Sprott Uranium Miners ETF, for example, has seen record inflows this year as more people bet on a nuclear renaissance. But there are risks. Nuclear energy is not without controversy, especially after disasters like Fukushima. There's also the issue of nuclear proliferation. nations gaining technology that could potentially be used for weapons. And of course, these projects are expensive and complex, with cost overruns and delays all too common. So while the Middle East's nuclear ambitions could pay off big, there's no guarantee of smooth sailing. Here's another angle: energy security. By investing in nuclear, Middle Eastern countries are hedging their bets. If oil demand dips, or if there's a geopolitical crisis, they still have a reliable local source of power. This could make them even more influential on the global energy stage. Think of it as energy insurance. And let's zoom out to the big picture. As the world tries to decarbonize, nuclear power could play a key role, not just in the Middle East, but everywhere. The International Energy Agency says nuclear needs to double by 2050 if we want to hit global climate targets. That means more investment, more innovation, and potentially more opportunities for investors who are paying attention now. So what should you watch for as this story unfolds? Keep an eye on which countries are moving fastest on nuclear. Look at the companies winning contracts to build plants, supply uranium, or provide next-gen safety tech. And pay attention to how oil prices react as the Middle East's energy mix evolves. If you're building a diversified portfolio, this is one energy transition you can't afford to ignore. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on how global trends could impact your money. And as nuclear power rises in the land of oil, ask yourself, is your portfolio ready for the next energy revolution?